he told me I could probably expect 10 to 15,000 a month, and I thought it was too good to be true.
Yeah.
I thought he was like, overselling it a bit, but he was definitely underselling it. Yeah.
So welcome back to another episode of the Jim's podcast, and I've got Skagen. You're down from Queensland.
Yes.
Jim's window and pressure cleaning franchisee is only 23 years old. I'm going to let him share his story rather than me ruining it, because it's a fantastic story. And I put him on the spot then with Jim for an impromptu interview, and Jim was very, very impressed. So we're happy to have him on the show today, and with some exciting news as well, which he'll talk about himself later on. But first of all, how did you get involved in gyms, and welcome to the podcast?
Thank you. Thanks, Joel. Thank you for having me. I got involved in gyms because I was finishing up my law degree, and it was crunch time. It was time to start applying for, law jobs, and I just really didn't want to do it. So I was kind of looking for anything and everything other than a law job that I could go do. I actually joined the Army Reserve for a bit.
Wow.
I went down to Kampuka just to not have to make a decision. I was just trying to stay away from the corporate life, and then one day just was looking up outdoor businesses to run because I really felt like I wanted to have an outdoor job. Fell into the gyms funnel, got chatting with my old franchisor Mustafa over in the cleaning division, and we got along great. It looked like a really good opportunity, and just took the leap and decided to go ahead with it.
And how old were you then?
I was 21.
21?
Yeah.
Yep. So you've come and then decided to do the business.
Yeah.
Now then, training first week, how was that?
Yeah, it was good. It was like drinking from a fire hose a little bit. It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I took a lot of notes, and then, it honestly took me 6 months to understand everything they'd spoken about at training.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good to have those notes to look back on and realise, okay, now I understand why that's relevant. But if you're just there and try and take it all in without having the relevant experience in running the actual franchise, it can be I'd say it's a bit overwhelming, but really, really, really good knowledge. A lot of tips in there from a lot of experienced guys who've been there, and it's paid off. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, why did you decide on window and pressure cleaning? Because outdoor businesses, there's a lot of different options, especially in gyms. So what was it about that service?
So I had been watching, I think this guy in Canada had just been popping up on my algorithm on social media, and he was going door to door selling window cleaning, and he was saying like, he was making $1 gazillion a year, and that's just kind of what I got drawn to, and I realised gyms did window cleaning, and I just connected those dots. And
Awesome.
I didn't really look at any other divisions, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Which is surprising, because up in Queensland, mowing might be generally the thing to come to mind, but I think window and pressure cleaning would be a great one, in terms of lifestyle and how you do it. So how big is your business currently, and what have you been able to do?
So before I talk about currently, right in the beginning, I was the only franchisee for window and pressure cleaning in Gold Coast and Brisbane.
Wow.
So there was unlimited work. Like there was hundreds of unserviced leads every month. So I came in and worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for the first month, and did 30 grand in our first month, just because there was that much work available. But it really burnt me out, like working that much.
Yeah.
So then, from there, just seeing the opportunity with the amount of work that's available, we got a bit smarter and, brought some people on, and over the time we've built up to have 8 people working for us. We've got a mixture of contractors and staff, and we did just under 90,000 last month.
Revenue?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing at 23, but I will go back because I've jumped ahead as well. I'm interested in hearing that. So you've gone from uni student, didn't know what you're going to do, Army Reserve now, your first month in business, you got 30K revenue.
Yeah.
Must have been pretty overwhelming. Like it must have been almost life-changing in a way, because you were saying to me off camera before that you're considering doing a business degree, and you had some great advice from your mum. Do you want to maybe share that? Because I think that's really great to hear. Yeah.
Mum told me that, buying a business and getting the real world experience, it costs the same as doing a degree. You're paying 50 grand either way. So do the one where you're actually going to get some real life experience. And even if it doesn't work out, you'll learn a heck of a lot more. And that's what pushed me over the line, was wise words from Mum.
Plus you'll make some money as well.
Yeah.
The thing,
yeah. Well, it was, didn't realise at the time what money you could make.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You watch in the videos for America and stuff, or Canada, and you think, geez, that's not like that in Australia, but you're in it now, so
Yeah, it does. When I was speaking to Mustafa, and I was asking what the earning potential is, he told me I could probably expect 10 to 15,000 a month, and I thought it was too good to be true.
Yeah.
I thought he was like, overselling it a bit, but he was definitely underselling it. Yeah.
No, that's great to hear. And I was going to say as well. So you're working 7 days a week to start. So because of all the opportunity that was there. So what were some lessons in those early days that you learned from doing that?
Well, I learned that that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
But more than that, I learned very quickly. That helped me really dial in the admin side of things.
Yep.
Because I was the reason I was working so much was, there's all these leads coming in. I'm going out quoting, doing jobs, driving all over southeast Queensland to get them done, coming home at 7 o'clock at night, and I've got all these quotes and invoices to send, and I'm like, I've got to get up at 6 o'clock tomorrow, So that was the best thing to help us realise or to motivate us to implement some software and things. We got some really good CRMs, accounting softwares. Down the track, we got different things for marketing and stuff. But the biggest learning curve was realising that I'm going to have to delegate things. And I realised that very early on, because there was, if I'm going to be focusing on the tools, I need to not get home and be spending 3 hours doing computer work, because it's just not sustainable. So it really accelerated, I'd say, how quickly we implemented a lot of delegation, whether that was to other people or to software.
Yeah. Now, what software do you use in your business?
So we use ServiceMate and Xero integrated together, and then we use like MailChimp for marketing.
And what did you first delegate out to someone? Was it the bookkeeping side, or what did you delegate?
I delegated bookkeeping very early, pretty much in the first 2 weeks, and all the accounting, because I wasn't thinking straight when I got home from work to balance books and all that sort of stuff. And then very soon after that, it was ServiceMate, which was, it automatically messages our customers, keeps them in the loop, tells them when we're on the way, reminds them of their booking, does all payroll and keeps track of a lot of stuff for us. And then, that talks to our accounting package. Accountants take care of that.
Yep.
And then we started to delegate the actual production of work. So getting a few casual guys in to help me on the jobs, slowly started training them up and sending them out to complete their own work. And then it's pretty much just been step by step, more delegation in each area. So, give more jobs to software, more jobs to other people. And as we go through and grow, we just kind of have to we put one system in, and 2 months later it's not working anymore because we've grown and we need to do something else.
And how'd you go with your first employees hiring? Because it can be, a lot of the time franchisees want to scale and they have a bad experience, and that maybe put them off it. So how did you go with hiring your first employees? And was there any place you advertised in particular, or how'd you go about finding these people?
My first year, all my employees were friends, which was okay, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it, and we don't do that anymore.
Now, why is that? Because I know some franchisees who only hire family and friends as well. Yeah. So, what was it? Just because it's hard with that relationship, or what was it?
Yeah, I just found that it puts a strain. Like, you're only talking about work then with those people, and you lose your friendship a little bit because you need to maintain that to an extent. You need to have a boss and a employee relationship, and it can make friendship difficult. And you're the one controlling their paycheck, and it's just I think it was really good for where we were at and how we did it, and but it's not something I'd do moving forward anymore. Yeah.
So where did you then start advertising for your other hires, and how'd you go with that?
So now it's Seek.
Seek. Yeah. That's interesting. So it's Seek. So you obviously add up for Seek, and you obviously got the hourly rates up there, and how do you then sort out the candidates, or how do you give them a test?
We actually don't do hourly rates. We pay all our guys a commission basis. So pay for performance.
Yep. P for P sort of stuff.
P for P. Mike Andes.
Yeah.
Basically took everything from him and implemented it.
Mike. Yeah. So. Well, that's okay. He took everything from us and took it back to his thing over there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. We know Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you use the P for P app, or you took the actual theory behind it?
Just the theory.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain for people who don't know what it is?
Yeah. So basically, you guarantee your staff a minimum wage, which is a minimum hourly rate, and you hope that they're always making more than that.
Yeah.
That's just more of a legal compliance thing. But then beyond that, you say, we're giving you X percentage revenue of every job you complete. And the amazing part about that is we found it attracts the best type of people, because they're only going to come and work for us if they know that they can hustle, get jobs done quickly, be efficient on the job site while still doing a good job. And then, I've got a guy say I have a guy who can complete a window clean in 4 hours. That's a $400 window clean. And I've got a guy who can complete the same job in 3 hours. If I was paying them hourly, the guy who does it quick is going to get paid less. So by paying hourly, I'm incentivizing slow behavior. So I love paying our guys a lot, because they're getting a percent of what we're making. So paying, we get a fixed percentage in place, and then they know, all right, this is how much I'm going to earn for the day. If they finish by 2 p.m, they can ask for another job and know that they're going to then get a percentage of that job. So I find that it just attracts the right people.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those who don't know, P for P, pay for performance, Mike Handy's, go to YouTube and look it up. There is software for it as well, but is it just at the end of the week you do it, or do you do it every fortnight and you calculate it based on the revenue for that?
Yeah.
For the operator, or how do you do it?
Yeah, we do payroll weekly.
Yeah.
And just in Service Mate, you can just look at you can generate a report, staff member, how much revenue they did, and how many hours they worked. And you just make sure that, their cut of the revenue averages out with the amount of hours they work to more than their guaranteed minimum hourly rate.
And then how do you maintain the culture as well? So that's obviously a part of the culture, and it's great that you get the people who are motivated to work and know they can work hard and get more for it. But anything else, any other tips and advice on maintaining a good culture and a crew like that?
Yeah. I'm blown away, honestly, by the team that we've built. They, we feel very blessed to have, found the people we've found. Mm-hmm. They go out and work really hard for us. They don't complain. They stay late if they need. They come in early if they need. And just, we let them know how much we appreciate that. And then we always lean on we always give them the benefit of the doubt. So if there's, they had to go back out to a job to fix something up, or a piece of equipment got broken or whatever, we don't deduct it from their paycheck or blame them for it. Or, one of my guys yesterday, he left a bit of equipment on a job site and he had to drive an hour round trip back to go get it. It was his fault that he left it there. Yeah. He didn't mean to, he apologised. I didn't have to pay him for that time, but because he realised and he drove back in his personal car later to fix it up. But we always just got to add an extra couple of hours to his paycheck for that. We want to take care of him, and we're able to do that because we know that we've got good people, and we know that we've got a really predictable margin for what our labour expense is going to be. And so we've got a buffer, to do these things, to go above and beyond for them, and help them out when they need it. And we really appreciate them, and we want to show them, and just them feeling appreciated keeps the culture there. Yeah,
that's great. It's great advice. And you mentioned 90 grand revenue before, which is amazing. Now, does Jim take 10% of that or 20%? There's a bit of misconception about that. I'm sure you get it all the time. People go, watch Jim's cut. So
last month, Jim took $1,600.
Geez, you must have taken a few leads, I reckon. Did you? Did you take any leads? Or?
I take a lot of leads.
You take a lot of leads.
He took $1,600. So what's that a percentage? 1.5%, 2%?
Not much.
Yeah, not much.
He always quotes 6%, so you're on the 1.5%, 2%, which is great. Yeah. And you mentioned, and what about lead fees? How do you look at lead fees? Because we do a lot of content, as you can imagine. Oh, you have to pay lead fees, and they're not guaranteed jobs and all that sort of stuff. So, how would you answer that?
Yeah, I pay $17 for a lead from Jim. And by far, we've got 10 different lead sources. We've got gyms, we do Facebook ads, you got high pages and word of mouth, and we put flyers out and do everything. By far, Jim's leads convert the best. They're the highest intent, and they're the cheapest. If we just treat it as any other lead source that none of the other window cleaning businesses get access to. So, if you try and go and generate high intent Facebook leads, it's going to cost you more than $17 a lead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember when Mike Andy's actually come out, he did the funnel for us with Google Ads, and
Yeah.
he thought we were charging way too cheap for the mowing leads, and a lot of the mowing guys were going, "Oh, wait," they didn't get it. But then he showed the actual conversion funnel with Google Ads and how much you need and all that sort of stuff. And he was basically saying our leads should be triple the costs based on what he knows from his sort of aspect. But
honestly, like in terms of comparable marketing sources and running Facebook ads and stuff, don't tell Ali and Hader, but I'd probably pay $40 a lead and it's still worth it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. And especially if you're doing your own content and ads as yourself, you know how expensive it gets and how more expensive it's going to get as well, and it's very, very competitive too.
Yeah.
What about territories? There's a lot of misconception about territories as well. People just think, you buy a territory and that's all you can work in. You've obviously said before you work all over the place. So in your business, just how big is your business in terms of a range, like where you work?
So for those who know the Gold Coast Brisbane region, we're mainly between Tweed and Coomera, but go as far as Byron to Brisbane for a big enough job. Yeah. As long as the job's big enough. We take leads only in that Tweed to Coomera area, but then, we get a lot of referrals, other ads trickle in, other people trickle in from outside of that. A lot of the contracts jobs come through outside of that, the national contracts. For a big enough job, we'll really go anywhere. Yeah.
I've seen you do some pretty big customers. I've seen some videos where you were doing a brewery or something. I think that was your video doing the brewery and stuff. Yeah. So you've had some invested in some content and stuff too, which is great.
Yeah.
What type of clients are you doing? What type of jobs? What sort of things can people expect if they did this as a franchise?
We see about 85% residential coming through gyms leads and 15% commercial. And, it's honestly such a big range. Like you've got you get a call from grandma who wants to help with just a little bit of window cleaning, clean up her driveway, that sort of thing, all the way to we've had, I got a lead 3 months ago. That's a $40,000 job.
Wow.
Like just a big commercial cleanup. We had Bunnings come through several times on leads, $5,000 window cleans for them. Can be anything. Like,
well, it's good to hear about Bunnings because Bunnings is a preferred supplier, so I'm glad to hear that they're using us. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. We're in Bunnings every day.
I'm glad to hear that. That's good.
Yeah.
But so commercial jobs and then obviously residential, which is great. Now, you mentioned obviously pressure washing. So the pressure washing aspect is something that I think is very satisfying for people. How do you enjoy that side of the business? Because I see a lot of content with the home services stuff, and there's always the pressure washing point of view stuff always does really well.
Yeah, I have. I haven't done much with social media, honestly. That's probably been my biggest, Well,
you're flat out with what you're doing, so
exactly.
You don't need it if you're busy.
Everyone always tells me you should be making content. You should be making content.
Yeah.
I'm honestly hopeless with content. I'm struggling to do this as well. Can't be on camera. So.
You're doing fine. But I think because you're so busy. But I want to go back to something you said earlier. And I think it's a really key thing what you said. From working with Jim for a long time, Jim is really good because he's got no ego around tasks. Whereas a lot of people like myself probably we want to try and do everything ourselves. But you've said really early on you just delegate.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key for business growth with our franchisees is trying to let go. You don't have to do everything.
Yeah.
So where is your main focus in your business now? Like what do you see as the most high value thing that's going to drive all the revenue that you do every day?
So I still do all of our sales and marketing's outsourced now. I do some marketing, but I'm pretty much just sales.
Yeah.
And then, making sure all the guys out on the road are okay.
Yeah, so sales and quotes in person you're doing?
I actually do a lot of, I don't recommend this for people starting out. I do a lot over the phone though now.
But you've got a lot of experience, so that's what we do.
Yeah. So once we've got that really dialed in, and it gets to a point where like for under a certain size job, it's not worth going out in person anymore. But in the beginning, you definitely have to do that. So I'm still doing all that, all the sales, and then just making sure, the team's happy. They're all everyone has their own vehicle and they're responsible for all the equipment, maintaining everything. They go to Bunnings and stock up on equipment and all their consumable stuff. So we build all of the responsibilities into the job role, and I do not micromanage anyone. Like, there's just not, it causes too much stress. If I was watching over everyone's shoulder, I would 100% be telling them to do it my way, and I know that. So all that what I've learnt to do is hire people that we trust, have really good ethics and morals, who are honest, who are going to tell me the truth. You know, they break something, they're going to tell me 100% of the time. And then we just leave it to them to manage their own thing. They're all adults. And as long as the job is done correctly, the customer's happy, the way they got there, it's not my business. Sorry, it's my business, but it's none of my business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as long as the end result is there, we fully trust them and don't micromanage.
Very wise, and I think that's especially now with the generation now. You don't want to do that. I think that's a really really wise approach. And Jim actually internally might seem like a micromanager from the outside, but he's not. He's really good. He just trusts you, and I think it's a really good thing that you're doing. With your business as well, equipment. What sort of equipment do you give the guys, and how do you sort of sort that out?
Yeah, so a starter pack for window and pressure cleaning starts at about 12,000.
Yep.
To get fully kitted out with really professional gear, and you can go anywhere up to, like, if you wanted to, you could spend 100,000. Like, the gear that you can get is just crazy. It's a point of diminishing returns though. 15 to 20,000 is your sweet spot.
Yep.
To get a really nice setup where you can be really efficient.
Now, is that with the ute, with the truck mounted stuff, or how do you have this set up with yours?
Yeah, so we've got it all truck mounted on, all in the back of a ute. We don't love trailers because the nature of our work, we've got to get into some really odd parking spaces and fit in, you know. So trailers are a bit difficult for us. So we do everything in a single cab ute. You've got basically 2 hose reels for your pressure washing setup, which is attached to a water tank and a pressure washer. And one of those hoses fills up your tank. One of those hoses spits out high pressure water. Then you've got a window cleaning setup. Same idea, 2 hoses. One of them fills up your filtration tanks, and then one of them spits out your filtered water. It's a special way we clean windows.
I learned that from doing some interviews with Jake and a few other boys. Yes, so that's what people need to know. The customers, they use filtered water. It's a special water.
Yeah. Keeps the windows cleaner for much longer. Better way of doing it. So that's its own little system there with 2 hose reels, and then you've got, you know, for internal windows, your squidgies and mops and buckets and those sort of things.
Yeah.
So it's all, you can all contain it. You can get it on a dual cab ute. It's a bit harder. You've got to be really ergonomic with how you lay it out. But a single cab ute fits everything. And it's honestly, for the return you can get, the gear's not too expensive. It's pretty good.
And how's the support been from the cleaning group boys with head office?
They're amazing. Like, I can't thank Mustafa, who got me started, and then all of the people behind him. Yeah, I can't thank them enough, really. Like, they completely changed my life, set it on a completely new course. So they're the best. Mustafa keeps joking with me that I owe him a Rolex, which I probably do. Yeah.
Well, it's a good man. He wants a Rolex. Yeah. You might have to do that for him. But that's great to hear, and that's great to hear about how you're happy you've been with support. Now, talking about support, you're here doing the franchisor training, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, you're 23 doing franchisor training, which is pretty much unheard of, which is awesome. I don't know if we've had. I think we maybe had a couple of franchisors around your age back in the day, maybe in mowing and stuff. But why did you want to be a franchisor? And do you want to maybe explain for people what a franchisor is outside of gyms who don't know what it is?
Yeah. So a franchisor is someone who is responsible for the success of the franchisees that are beneath them, or that are in their region. So I'll be taking over the Queensland region as franchisor. That means that all the franchisees who are in Queensland, existing and new ones who sign up, I'll be responsible for making sure their business is successful, they're happy, and you know, everything's running smoothly for them. They come to me for, you know, issues, their customer complaints come to me. I'm kind of their, you know, if you're looking at it as a corporate context, I'm like their manager in a way, just above them, making sure they're all running smoothly. They're all their own independent business, but I'm just that level of support for them. That's why people come to gyms, for the systems and the support.
Yeah. We don't market it this way, but it's, you know, I guess you're a business coach in a way, or they're a part of a mastermind, which people might be familiar with that term.
Yeah.
Plus, they get all the other benefits. But as a why did you want to then do the franchisor role? Is it just because you want to keep growing, or what was it appealing to you about it?
Yeah. So we just felt it was really important to have our franchisor was running it interstate.
Okay.
And we just felt it was really important to have someone there who knows the industry, who's in it.
That's on the ground, face to face.
Yeah, exactly. Can meet, you know, prospects face to face. Can actually go out on job sites and, you know, rally up work. I got all my contacts are there. We've got all our suppliers and things. They're all local, and I know them all. So it just made more sense for someone who was actually there to be able to run it. And yeah, I just really have grown to love service business. It's become a real passion, and I'm obsessed with learning about how to, run a really good service business. We've implemented a lot into our own franchise, a lot of systems, a lot of marketing, a lot of software that's helped us get to where we're at in, just over 2 years really. And I'm look around at the other franchisees, they're all such good guys, really motivated. They've all taken massive financial, I say risks, like it doesn't feel that risky going into gyms, but they've, before you sign up, you don't know that. So they've all taken massive financial risks. A lot of them put their life savings in like I did to get into this. And I really care about helping them have a really successful business. So I'm essentially looking to take all of our systems that we've built in our own franchise and help plug it into all these boys and to anyone else that comes on board, and just make them, less admin time, more profitable, just overall more satisfaction, making more money, happy with their franchise. Because I talk to them all the time. We do jobs together. We get along really well. We're all going out to dinner next week. It's a really great group, and I just I really care about those boys and helping them have solid businesses.
Awesome. So so when you say you have the Queensland, I think there's 9 franchisees you're telling me there.
Yeah,
so 11.
Yeah.
So it's heaps of room to obviously grow.
Yeah.
So where would some areas of focus be if people are listening? Where would you sort of need franchisees? Or people can move from Victoria, leave the cold down here, go up to do a sea change?
Yeah, come up.
Yeah, where are you sort of looking at the areas of focus?
We're looking to put a second guy in Sunshine Coast,
Yep.
which we've got someone who's keen at the moment, and a guy in North Brisbane. We don't have anyone there. Then outside of that, it's really all your smaller towns. Cairns, Townsville, Ipswich, Toowoomba, Harvey Bay, Fraser Coast, all those sort of areas. I've got a table on my computer somewhere. There's about 13 places with a lot of leads and no one in them.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going to be really targeting to, try and get people in there. Brisbane, there's so much work in Brisbane, and there's that's always going to be able to add more franchisees there. But we've just signed on someone there, so we like to let them get established, get a little bit of a runway going.
Yeah.
But that'll be, they'll be booked out in no time, and we'll be ready for another one there as well.
Now, what sort of training's involved for people? So someone might go, "Yep, great, I'm going to leave Victoria, get out of the cold, and move up there." So, how much training's involved? And I'll just talk about that process.
Yeah. So obviously there's the 3-day gyms business training.
I've gone down to 2, which you probably did. Back when you did it was 3. I fall in that trap as well. It's 2 now, so it's only 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why everyone left on Tuesday. Okay.
Yes. Don't worry. So if anyone doesn't know, we used to have 3-day training, but they wanted to try and shorten it up just to make it a bit easier for people with families and stuff, overlap and stuff. But it's 2 days now. Yeah.
Okay. So there's the 2-day training, and then you've got on the road training it's been with me in the past. I'm not sure if it will be anymore. It'll be either with one of my employees in my franchise, or it'll be with one of the other experienced boys out on the road. And that can be anywhere from, your initial training's 5 days on the road, and that's to learn your basics, your basic pressure washing and window cleaning. But realistically, you need to have a bit more than that ongoing in terms of we get into some more advanced services like soft washing, heights, window cleaning, that sort of stuff. And the way we run those is basically when a job comes up, roof cleaning, that's another one. You can't really learn safely how to do all that, in that initial training. So pretty much just when one of those types of jobs come up, we get anyone who's never done it before, any of the franchisees who haven't done it, to come back out, and we sort of continue that training on.
Awesome.
So it's 5 days initially, but it doesn't really ever finish for at least the first year. I'd say you're really absorbing a lot more, but you're able to sort of continue learning and continue that training while you're already out making money on the services that you're competent in.
And is it overly physical? What's the physicality with the job?
Yeah, there's not a lot of heavy lifting, but you're on your feet all day. So I'd say mowing's honestly more physical. When you're doing external window cleaning, you've got a big pole that if you're doing, 2 or 3 stories, you've got a pole extended up that you get a good workout, using your shoulders. Pressure washing, obviously you've got the grip holding the wand down all day. But it's not overly physical. You definitely do need to be reasonably fit though. Yeah.
And what's been the biggest challenge in doing your business? What are some challenges that people might want to know? Because obviously, coming into a franchise, we want them to know it's not just going to be you come in and you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
What has been the challenging aspects of doing it?
I feel like my challenges have been self-inflicted, so I'm not even sure what they are outside of that.
Yeah.
Like I have never had my leads off at any point. It's always been, I have had them off for, I went on my honeymoon and stuff and had them off then. But like in normal business, we just take as much work as we can get.
Yep.
I never say no to anything. That's on me. Like I'd rather, instead of saying I'm too busy, I'm like, no, I'm going to go hire another guy and then and still get the work done. So I self-inflict a lot of that stuff. But looking at the other guys in the area, what their challenges are, it would be fitting in time for your admin work. Like you go into this because you want to have an outdoor job. You don't love having to go home and do an hour of computer work.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge. We've got ways to sort of support you through that though. And then it would be, what else is a challenge? It'd be fitting your quotes in while you're trying to get your work done. Like sort of finding that balance of realizing that there's going to be an element of things you need to do in your business where you're not getting paid.
Yep.
Quoting, advertising, doing that, going out and knocking on doors or handing flyers out and doing these sort of activities where you're not directly earning money, but it's things you need to do in order to lay the foundations for, the coming months to make sure you're going to be booked out. So, not the guys struggle doing those sort of things because it's so tempting just to lean on all the gym's leads and just take them when they're coming in.
Yeah. So that's a good point. Let's point that out for people. So do you want to talk about the proactive marketing that you do in your business and what you think is really essential for franchisees to succeed? Because we do have that, sometimes we have that attitude where someone might say, 30 leads and if they don't get the leads for the month, they might complain or whatever. So do you want to talk about the proactive marketing you do in your business and what sort of things you're doing?
Yeah. So we do obviously Facebook ads, but beyond that, we focus a lot on getting referrals.
Yes. How do you do that?
Yeah. So once our guys know that our most important metric, more so than how clean is the window or how clean is the driveway, was the customer happy? They must walk around with the customer and they must ask the customer if they're happy before they leave the job. So when that opens up a conversation of, all right, you're blown away with the work we've done, Mr. Customer, here's, a pamphlet or whatever. It's actually got $50 off in there for you to give to a friend. We give them, 5 pamphlets and they can hand that out to their friends. It's got all of our services in there, a little discount code, and that we find that helps a lot.
That's great. I want to stop you there because I know Jim does videos where he says, I've never given a discount to a customer in my life. So I'm not talking about this. So it's really smart and I think it's great. You give him the flyer with the $50 amounts on there. How did you come to that amount? Did you just think it was more appealing enough that they're going to actually handle, or how did you decide on that?
Yeah, well, we don't give fake discounts. Right. So I do give discounts. I know a lot of people say that, like the price is the price.
Yes.
But customers love to feel like they're getting a deal.
We all do, right? So that's exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I'm never going to be that guy who's like, no, my price is my price. It's set. Like I will revisit. I'm not going to do the exact same service, but I'll say, all right, we can take off your window track cleaning and make it work within your budget. Like, so we give genuine discounts. So when it's $50 off, I'm actually taking $50 off the price.
Yep.
I'm not putting it up by 70 and then taking the 50 off. So it was more so we looked at our metrics for what our customer acquisition cost needs to be, and our customer acquisition cost is right around $50.
Right.
So that's how we came to that number. Was every customer, whether I'm getting it through Facebook or Jim's leads or whatever, I'm paying $50 on average to acquire a new customer.
Wow.
So that's essentially where that it's just that cost.
That's very smart. So you know your numbers and you're doing that, and that's very, very clever. So I love hearing this because I know Jim says the opposite and some people say the opposite. So I'm glad to hear that. It's not that bad. And if you want to try that in your business,
Yeah.
and that's a great thing, if you're going to be far more inclined to hand that to someone, I know we say the business cards and stuff, but if you've got something on there like a $50 voucher, they're going to be far more inclined to hand it to someone as opposed to a standalone flyer with nothing on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's we stole that from HelloFresh.
Okay, yeah.
They, how you get when you get a box, it's like, here, give this to your friend for a box. Like, it feels.
It's like referral codes when you do software and stuff. You refer your friends and you get an extra 2,000 credits and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah. If you've got just a pamphlet versus a pamphlet with $50 in it, it feels like you're throwing away money, and it's like they'll just give it to someone so they don't have to put it in the bin.
Yeah.
And it's like it's that mentality of like. It sits on the bench for 5 days or a week and they're like, I've got to hand that to someone. I don't want to just put it in the bin. So the next time someone comes over to their house, they're just going to give it to them just so someone's got it.
Yeah.
So that it's off them. I'm no longer throwing the $50 away. So it's that mentality. We also do a thing, we've got little door hangers where it says, say we've just been at Kim's house cleaning her windows. We've got little door hangers that say, we just cleaned your neighbour blank windows. So our guys will write in Kim's. So we just cleaned your neighbour Kim's windows. Use her name to get $50 off. Or it'll say like, we just cleaned her driveway or whatever it is. Hang that on all the neighbours' doors so they don't have to waste time knocking. They've got to get to the next job. But they just leave that on the door. And then, when that person gets home from work or whatever, they'll peek over at the neighbour. Oh yeah, the windows look really good. Okay, these guys did it. I'd say I'm Kim's neighbour, I get $50 off. So it's the same idea. It's just the customer acquisition cost. Built into that little door hanger where we can do, they call it H marketing, where you make a H around all the houses nearby and drop them on the doors.
Very, very clever. And it's personalised as well. So you have the neighbour's name there too. It doesn't feel like it's just a generic thing. So you're personalising it too, which gets them more inclined to then hopefully do it. And how effective is that for you in your business?
We track all of our jobs. They get tagged in our software with what the lead source was.
Lead source,
So we have about 40% come from Jim's leads, and then we've got 20% come from other places, and then 40% come from repeat recurring referral.
Wow.
So it's as effective now as Jim's leads.
Massive part of your business.
Yeah.
Really, really clever. So we're going to clip this up, Charles, and we're going to put this on our marketing and training stuff. But very, very clever, and I hope people are listening do try that in your business if you want to try and do it, because very, very smart. And I think you're doing the digital stuff well. You're obviously doing the referral stuff and you do a great job. And I think the in-person stuff is just as important as the online stuff too. And I think we forget that sometimes. People just want the online stuff, and if it's not working, they sit at home sometimes, whereas this is really, really effective. And it's great to hear the strategy that you're using as well. Who suits your division then? What type of person? Because obviously as a franchisor, you wanted to have people who come in with certain characteristics and traits. So what type of person should be looking at this or that you want in your region?
The only thing that I'm looking for really, like we want motivated people who care, who have a good ethics. Honestly, that's the biggest thing for us, because all of those things that I was talking about before, leaving the door hangers, hand the pamphlets, all that, it only works if you're blowing the customer away. And in order to blow a customer away, you have to care about them, and you have to realise that customer's spending hard-earned money with you. And you have to appreciate that and appreciate your customer and do a great service for them. So as long as, we need someone with that mentality, but in terms of, and they've got to be, reasonably fit. They've got to be polite, able to, smile at the customer and sound good on the phone and that sort of stuff. But beyond that, they can be from any background, corporate, worked outdoor, had a business before, never had a business before. It doesn't matter. Obviously, we're in a division that doesn't require a trade, so we can get you up and running within a couple of weeks. And it's just about someone who's got the right attitude and has that reasonable level of fitness. But I think I'm the youngest in the area, but then we've got people all the way up to 62 years old who just joined. Yeah. So, it really suits anyone from any background. Absolutely, and just there's a mountain of opportunity, and I think, the revenue you're doing within 3 years is very, very impressive. So people, I think there's a lot of stigma sometimes with home services. They don't understand the true amount of money you can do in it. Yeah. Are you surprised about
how successful you've been? Because you're only 23. It's quite impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife and I, we close the books at the end of each month, and we, like, especially lately, it feels like in the last 6 months, it's just exploded. And we're not chasing the high revenue number at all. Like, we kind of have disassociated with it in a way. Like, we look at it, it doesn't really feel real. I'm not looking at it every day constantly, like, how much money have I made?
Yeah.
I'm really focused on, are all of my customers happy? Are all of my workers happy? And it's kind of just...
That's the byproduct of it, right? So you're
exactly.
the game of business, we'll call it, the game of business of how I can get better and scale this thing, and that's the nice byproduct.
The biggest thing for me, like, if I could pinpoint where our revenue sort of went from that 30 to 40K, getting up to the 60, 70, 80, 90, was when we got to a point where we had enough. I had one too many workers, basically. Like, we like to keep guys 1 or 2 weeks booked out, so they've got, job security, and they know that when they turn up to work, there's jobs for them to do. I had one too many guys on a couple months ago, and I was not thinking about how much money I was going to make at all that month. All I could think was, this guy is only booked out for the next 2 days. He's relying on us to get him jobs so that he can go out and feed his family. And that is, like, I really care about the people who are working for us. And that was the biggest motivator to feel like, when you're in that situation of, like, this guy's going to show up and I'm going to have no work for him, that you'll stop at nothing to go and book jobs. Like, if you're put in that situation, you go knock doors, you hand out flyers, you run Facebook ads, you'll figure out a way. And I didn't care whether I was going to make a profit on it. I was like, I need to get him booked out. Like, that was a real turning point for us of, I'm just looking out for our guys and they're looking out for us in return. And then at the end of the month, we go and look at the books and we just look at each other in disbelief. Like, is that ours? Like, it just doesn't really feel real. So, yeah.
Well, I reckon you'd be doing a lot more better at doing what you're doing now than when you would have been as a lawyer, as a 23-year-old lawyer.
I think so.
You'd have been getting flogged, maybe. Probably working just as hard, probably.
Yeah,
but And what do your friends or family think about what you're doing? Because you go and do a law degree, and then all of a sudden, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to go and do window and pressure washing. And I think in Australia, there's still a bit of there's a misunderstanding of home services and just how lucrative it can be. So what was your friends thinking?
Yeah, friends thought I was crazy, like absolutely nuts, especially all the guys I went through law school with. Because I did okay at law school as well. Like, I wasn't terrible. But yeah, they all thought I was insane.
Well, maybe they might be becoming franchisees of yours. Because,
we'll see.
We'll have to see, I reckon.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And one guy actually said to me, he goes, I really respect you for being able to, for being able to put your ego aside and tell people you're a window cleaner. And I was kind of like taken back. I was like, it's not that bad. Like, telling people I'm a window cleaner.
It's a really relevant comment, and I think that's a really good thing to mention, because I do think there's that status in that, like, I'm a lawyer, I'm a law student, right? And then you go, well, then I'm a window cleaner, right? And then it's unfortunate that there's that arrogance or there's that stigma still towards home services, but it's a very, I was glad you don't mind that. And, people stay in a job for 20 years because they have that identity, right? When they go to a party, what do? I'm the rep for this, or I'm the manager of this, right? As opposed to saying, actually, I own a lawn care business or I own a window and pressure cleaning business, right? So unfortunately, that status and that ego keeps people in those sort of mindset for 20 years, and then they wake up to it when they're 45 and they come into training, and that's what they tell me when I do it. Whereas you've been able to do it at such a young age to get away from that sort of mentality. Whereas I think the beauty with gyms is it's not just the service you're doing; it's the game of business, right? So you've got a business, and that's just the service you do for your business. But you're a business owner, right? Yeah. And the foundation you got for yourself now, you can literally do, as Jim was saying outside. He said you're going to be a billionaire in 50 years.
I don't know about that.
He's very rapt, but he's very rapt for his success. But like, you've got such a great foundation now as a 23-year-old, like well ahead of anyone else. What they're doing. I think it's just amazing. But with the brand as well, we always hear about the brand. Everyone says the power of the brand. So how would you describe that to people thinking about doing gyms in the market? Because there are other home services franchises, and obviously we're a bit biased, but I'm very biased towards, because I think it's crazy for people who don't go with gyms and they go with someone else. Yeah. Because I think the brand does matter. How much does that impact on your business, and what are your thoughts on the actual brand itself?
Yeah. My my parents are like business people through and through. I've been around business my whole life, and when I first started with gyms, we were looking at the gym system and all that, and we were kind of like came to this realization very early on in like the second or third month I'd been doing it. And we all kind of said, gyms has got to be the most like underutilized and underappreciated system. Like the fact that I was able to just, as a 21-year-old, plug in to a system that spat out 200 leads at me and made me 30 grand in 1 month.
Yep.
Like, and the fact that all my friends were saying like, oh yeah, have fun with that. Like we were just like, no one knows, no one gets, like, it seems like it anyway, that no one really gets the opportunity that's there. So the brand helps massively. Like to build up a brand like your own independent brand, to be able to confidently outreach to, you know, massive school contracts or government contracts or large commercial buildings or all of those sort of bigger projects that, you know, everyone in a service business wants to get. To build up a brand to a point where they'll even reply to you takes years and a lot of connections. And I went in week 1 with the gym's logo slapped on it, pulled every single email for all of the schools in Queensland and just cold outreach to them all saying, you know, I can clean your school, and actually get replies because I've got that logo there, and pull, you know, thousands of dollars worth of jobs just because the logo's on the email.
Yep.
Like it's a really, really powerful brand. It's instant trust when you're bidding against other people. It's always kind of like it always sticks out a little bit. We do get the occasional person who says like, oh, I don't really want to go with a franchise because you're always more expensive. And I tell them, I'm like, no, gym's not actually taking a cut. Like, and they're like, oh, okay. You know, and then they don't, that's the only hiccup people have. And when they realize I'm not whacking 10% extra on the price, then they're over it. And then it goes back to how much they trust the brand and want to move forward.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I think, because I always look at 96 or 98% brand recognition, whatever it's got, for what we pay for a franchise fee. You can't get access to a brand with that much recognition in Australia for nowhere near that amount. It'd have to be like a quick service restaurant type Macca's, KFC setup. And I think also when people are looking at franchise options, I will say this, even though we're biased, and I say this a bit online with my own stuff, is look at the brand and do actually people search for that brand to actually use it for a work perspective? Because a lot of other franchises, they don't have a brand in the market and they're generating leads for you from higher pages and other places. Whereas with gyms, people are contacting or searching for gyms window and pressure cleaning, or they're searching for gyms and they're finding us out because they trust the brand. Whereas a lot of other people don't have that. And also we do 900,000 leads a year. I think we do 800,000 leads a year.
Yeah.
You imagine the amount of millions of jobs that are done a year.
Yeah.
So you're coming in, with maybe every house in Australia almost has had someone gyms doing something there, and you're coming in and you're leveraging off all that brand equity and trust. And I think it's just an absolute no-brainer. And I agree with you about the system. That's why we do so much content, is because we wanted people to understand that it's not too good to be true. You can get in there and you can do what you've done. And I think it's amazing with how you've scaled, and it's just like flat fee. Yeah. You scale.
It's crazy.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it's just great. 23-year-olds in a system like this where you can come and be so successful so early on is just a credit to yourself more than anything. But the gym system as well has that flexibility where you've wanted to scale and there's been no hampering on you from head office or anything like that too.
No, yeah.
So just for people to be clear, there's no restrictions from head office about your scaling or anything like that. We don't charge you for an extra truck or an extra this or that. No.
Nothing. So I probably, it's just I've paid the same fee since month 1 to now. It's between $1,000 and $1,500. Yeah. Or in some months I take a lot of leads and it gets up a little bit. Yeah. I love when my gym's fee is high, because I'm like I know I've just taken so many leads.
It's a business expense too. It's a tax deduction.
Exactly.
Not an accountant, but it's a tax deduction, so it's all right.
Yeah. Well, if it's the same as any other marketing source. Like the more you're spending on a marketing source, it's obviously providing the result for you. So I do not mind at all.
And what do you like about this industry? Because it's so obscure from what you've done to this, right? And then what do you like about the industry itself?
Yeah, the industry it's one of those ones where you can completely transform a property in one day.
Yeah.
Like homeowners will come home after, a day of work and we've cleaned their roof and cleaned the whole outside of the house and done all the windows, done the driveway, done all their fences and everything. And, when they left in the morning, it was all mouldy and gross and covered in spider webs. And they come home, it looks like it's had a fresh paint coat over the whole place.
Yep.
And people always comment about how they didn't realise how dirty their windows were until they were clean, because now all the lights coming in, and you don't realise it almost feels like there was curtains over the windows, and they walk into their home and they're just so much happier. It's so much brighter. You get all the sun coming in, and the transformation is just drastic and quick, and people love that. It's a really good industry as well, because the projects don't spill over like a 2-week period. Like if you were going in renovating or painting a house to make that big transformation, you've got a little bit, if you're a little bit out in your quote, it can really affect your profit margin at the end, because it's like, all right, this is a 2 to 3 week job. There's a lot of play in there. You got a lot of materials that you're messing with, and it's hard to sort of go on a job by job basis and make sure you're actually making the right amount of money. Whereas we don't have any, materials and that sort of stuff. It's all the equipment that we've got, and we just use that same equipment over and over again. And they're mostly one-day jobs. We know how long it's going to take us. We know the result we're going to get. It's a really predictable margin, predictable service, predictable reaction from the customer. Like, what the difference is going to be. So, yeah.
I'm thinking, like, if people want to see change as well, what a great business to go into. Not just people where you are, people can come up and do it.
Definitely, it's a great lifestyle business. Like we've got guys, who I've chosen to take the route that I've chosen. I don't push that at all on everyone. I don't think.
So we should probably, actually, a good question, good thing what you're saying. So even though you've got a massive business, you can do well as a sole trader just doing it by yourself.
100%. So I don't think that what we've done is like that incredible by any means.
It definitely is. You've done a great job. Don't undersell it. It's very good.
But the other guys in the region, like there's one guy about an hour away from me. He works like 3-4 days a week, 6 hours a day, makes $3,000 a week.
Not bad.
Has a long weekend every weekend. Like he loves it. Like he's so cruisy. He'll go out and just do. Some weeks he'll make $3,000 in one day. He gets a big job, goes out and does $3,000. He's like taking the rest of the week off. Like,
not bad. Why not?
Exactly.
You make it work how you want.
Yeah. There's something for everyone. You can push it as hard as you want. If you want to scale, do the staff thing, you can go down that route. I can help you. Obviously, we're building out these systems, and just it gets to a point where you can just plug them in for someone else. So, you can go down that route. But even so, they're powerful systems where we can plug it in for someone who wants to be a sole trader and just eliminate their admin time. So you can kind of do whatever you want within the business. A lot of guys work a standard 5 days and have one offsider. That's the most common. And they push a bit harder, and they're getting up into that $4,000 or $5,000 a week.
Wow.
That they're making. So it's a really, really, player's choice. Whatever you want to do, it's an industry for that.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming in today.
Well
done on your success. It's amazing. As I said at the start, Jim was in at the time, and I said, just Jim, come and do an interview, because it's amazing to hear stories like this. We love hearing someone at 23 doing what you're doing is really, really good. You've also got a passion for it too, and it's great because there's so much opportunity in home services to have someone like yourself to share it. And amazing. So well done to your mum, obviously, for going through with you and helping you and pushing you to make that decision. I think it's really wise advice, and you're smashing it. So we're really happy to meet you. Really proud that, in 3 years, someone like yourself can just do it. It's amazing. It's really, really awesome. So if you are becoming a franchisee, 131546, or head to gyms.net, put in an inquiry as well. And who knows what you can do. It's just amazing to see in the system how young people like yourself can have a real crack. And if you're a younger person thinking about it, hey, don't go to uni. Do what you did and come into it. Yeah. It's amazing. But thank you very much for your time today. We do appreciate it.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me.
Ta.